defensive zone face-off setups. How to set up in the defensive zone from the drop of the puck and make sure that we're taking away the middle from the point. And defensemen, how do we tie up wings? How do we track wings back to the middle, box out? After we go through this video, I'm going to show an example of what happens to the Washington Capitals when they don't know who to cover or they get confused in their communication and they actually give up a goal from poor defensive face-offs. So we're going to start here. We're going to learn the basics here, and then we'll go to the Tom Wilson Washington Capitals.
I know a lot of us are doing this already, but a lot of players aren't sure of what position they're supposed to be playing and where they're supposed to be going. So let's cover it real quick. Our center, of course, is lining up there. Nothing's different. He's still got his man covered right off the face-off. And the big difference here is we're going to have our right defenseman lined up on the boards, like the Sharks do, like the Bruins do, all NHL teams do. We're going to have the left defenseman lined up right here, and we're going to have our right winger lined up here, and our left winger lined up there. On the face-off win or loss, the right winger is going to come right out here. He's going to attack that defenseman. So if the puck does squirt back or is won back to this D, we've got this defenseman contained in this corner. It's a big point. If we lined up the winger on the boards, he'd be coming up the boards this way, and this defenseman, if he had the puck, he could escape to the middle and make a play that way. So this actually keeps him from having an escape route. So
I'm also going to add to that, when we put a winger on this side of the circle, not only when we're chasing him up the wall, yes, we're actually pushing him into the middle, but you're also going to get there a little bit slower because of this man right here standing in your way. If you jump to this side of the circle, there's a lane right here for you to jump through. He can't really block you getting up to the point without taking some kind of interference penalty. This guy doesn't have to move. He can just stand there and then break off once you've had to skate around him. I'm going to keep playing this, though. This is good stuff just for a refresher.
So that right winger attacks that defenseman, and on the face-off win, he's still going to do the same thing. The other thing is he's going to get some separation. So on the face-off win, puck's going to come back here or here. If it's coming back here, our right defenseman is going to skate into it with force and speed and drive it around, skate it around, drop it around to this defenseman. But usually we'll throw it around wide, opening up the ice east and west, and this the left winger here is going to go right to the half boards and pick up that puck, where everyone can then break out and make a great play. The only other difference here, the other thing that might happen, I should say, is sometimes the puck will squirt back here. In that case, this left defenseman is right on top of that. He can pick it up and skate it behind the net, use the net to protect, and also wrap it around for that winger who's going to go to the sideboards. So on the face-off loss, if that puck does, like I said, if it comes back here, our right wing is going to be right on him. If the puck comes back to this defenseman, our left wing is going to be right on him. And if in the event of either event, the puck goes anywhere, our right defenseman is going to be right on top of his man here. He's already lined up with them. Instead of lining up the right D back here and being that far away, that guy can escape anywhere and get a lot of commotion, a lot of blockers between him and the defenseman who should be watching him. So,
one quick addition to that, because you're starting lined up next to this Chicago winger, you're Brent Burns in this scenario. If the puck does get won back by the opposing team in his direction, you are engaging in a one-on-one at the top of the circle. At no point should he skate freely, pick up a puck into the slot free-handedly while you're cutting up underneath. You need to chase this individual into the play and not let him escape free-handedly.
It's a good way of making sure that on the defensive face-off loss, we all have our man covered immediately. We're all standing right next to him, basically. So that's pretty much it. Just to show you a couple of quick snippets of some other shots. There's the same idea. And this one here, on this one here, our defenseman is lined up right there, like we said, on the boards. And he's ready to bust right through the middle. He's ready to go to the point. This defenseman's going to lock up with this guy right here. Pretty much going to work out. In fact, here is the next snippet. You can see the winger's going right for it, right, which is pretty cool. And a couple more snippets and I'll let you go. Here's the next play there. Here's a quick look at the Bruins lining up. You can see Marchand's lined up wide. But what I want you to focus on is the left winger right here. Okay, watch what happens at the very next drop of the puck. Immediately, he busts right through the middle. Check that out again. There he is standing still. The puck drops. He's gone. You can even see that this guy here is trying to push him or pick him. But that's interference if he continues to do that. But our winger is busting right through the middle, and he's going to get there as quick as he can. So that's a kind of a cool little snippet.
All right, so that's basically the gist. There's no need in watching more horrible San Jose Sharks video. All right, so nope, it's this one. We're gonna watch a video from a former NHL goaltender. His name is Steve Valiquette. Didn't play that many games. This is Steve. He is a former, I'm not sure if he is anymore, New York Rangers analyst. Does a lot of broadcasting and reporting on behalf of the Rangers. And he's going to talk about their offensive zone faceoff as forwards. But I want you to watch the Washington Capitals, who are in their own defensive zone on this play, and how their poor readiness or confusion contributes to them being scored on. So,
scored 10 goals on 82 shots this season. Let's dig in. First things first, how have the Rangers scored? Well, not surprisingly, 8 of the 10 goals scored off of faceoffs have been through a screen. The unique thing about a faceoff is you have 10 players lining up on one side of the ice, 35 feet away from the goaltender's right or left. The teams that run a number of face-off plays have had a lot of success in recent years creating offense, but when a play does break down, the best option is to get it to the point and shoot through traffic and hope for a screened goaltender to get beat clean or off of a broken play, deflection, or rebound off of any of those scoring opportunities. This is the first period of a game against Washington this year. Stepan is having his best season in the face-off circle at 48% against Yevgeny Kuznetsov, who's a close 46%. The first thing we're going to do is look at Washington's defensive lineup and what their objectives are to shut down this face-off win by the New York Rangers. Jason Chimera wants to take a straight line up to Dan Boyle and seal off his passing option to the high slot area. Tom Wilson, he wants to take a straight line up to Ryan McDonough and not allow him to shoot off of a face-off loss. Matt Niskanen is a right-handed defenseman playing on the left side on this face-off, and his job is to make sure that nobody comes to the front of the net and he can box out and let Braden Holtby see the puck. Yevgeny Kuznetsov's job is to tie up the face-off with Derek Stepan, and Carl Alsner, who's a left-handed defenseman playing on the right side, is lined up with Matt Zuccarello, and he's going to follow him all the way to the middle of the ice. Now the referee drops the puck, and as this play gets engaged, you're going to see a big mix-up here in the middle of the ice where Tom Wilson follows Chris Kreider a little bit too far into the center ice circle and then loses his man. He has to get back out to Ryan McDonough, and he has a very difficult time doing it as Derek Stepan ties up Yevgeny Kuznetsov. Because Tom Wilson takes so much delay in time to get out there, Ryan McDonough is able to slide across the blue line, wait for everything to open up, and get his shot to the net. And in the meantime, because Tom Wilson inaccurately judged his straight line to Ryan McDonough, that also freed up Matt Niskanen to travel a little bit too much into the face-off circle and get out of his net front presence, where Kreider is able to step around him and get to the front of the net for this deflection. So now you've got a Braden Holtby that's screened as well as challenged on a deflection by Kreider, and it's an excellent face-off goal. Now, one thing to note about the Rangers, they're going to...
Okay, so there's a prime example of know who your man is on the face-off. Know where you need to get to as soon as the puck is dropped. Does that change for you as a player if we win the face-off or lose the face-off? If it does, then you need to consider both before the puck is dropped. Case in point, Tom Wilson. Everybody else is doing their job but Tom Wilson. And it leaves a huge section of the ice at the top of the zone ready for all kinds of shots, tips, deflections, and maybe it goes in clean. We don't want that to happen. And this is a simple understanding of how and where to play that we can limit these goals against us this year. You don't have to take a skills clinic to learn this. I would encourage you guys to watch more hockey games this year and watch whatever position you're playing during that game. So, Tom Wilson, don't beat this guy. Get out to the point. Defensemen, know if you're going around the circle. If we lose the face-off, are you going to pick this puck up, skate it around? Weak side defenseman, are you going to engage as well? Go give your partner a D-to-D pass. What happens if we lose? You're going here to the point if you're this forward, or you're going to the half wall if we win. All of these things need to be considered when you're lining up. Centermen, help your face-off percentages, and especially in the defensive zone, by knowing where your guys are and making sure they know where they are as well. Let's have some accountability this year at 16U. If you guys have questions, ask me, Coach Scott, Coach Joe, Coach Baldy, and Paul Bailey will be there in the presence for Double A this weekend. So we'll see you guys down there.